Hello my loves, welcome back. So today we are going to talk about a tiny little aspect that is actually very productive, or can be very productive. And this aspect is the sextile between Mars and Chiron. So Mars, our drive, Mars getting what we want, the way we get what we want. So our Mars sign and house placement tells us the area where we are going to be most focused to get what we want. And it also, the sign tells us how we get that, right? The energy of how we get it. So Mars in Pisces is doing things very differently than Mars in Aries, for example. And then Chiron is our wounded self, right? The stuff we work through, our inner child wounds, our traumatic experiences that we have to come to terms with throughout life. Now, when one partner's Mars is sextile and the other partner's Chiron, then we can get some very productive help here from our partner, helping us through difficult times, helping us understand how to make our message, right? Like really being productive with the pain body and transforming the pain body. Sometimes, depending on how each person deals with their Mars and their Chiron, this can feel very forceful and not so good to both people, but especially to the Chiron person. And of course, also depending on where Mars sits. If Mars is sitting in Aries, that Mars will feel very different to the Chiron person than Mars in Pisces, for example. And Mars in Pisces will have a much more gentle approach to helping us, work on our inner child issues, transforming them in a way. So we have to keep that in mind when we delineate this aspect and when we look at this. But this is a really welcoming aspect that can really help us. Also the Mars person, by the way, not just the Chiron person, because energies flow both ways. Also the Mars person can really heal in this composition, in this aspect. Also the Mars person can work through their own inner child issues in a much more productive way sometimes. So that's where communication comes in, right? Communication is really important with this aspect as well, where we are very clear and very direct with the Mars person, right? The Chiron person needs to be direct with the Mars person, because that's the Mars person only understands direct. The Mars person doesn't understand around the corner and the more passive stuff. You got to be direct and say, okay, this was like too much now, or this was, can you please, hold back a little bit, because, what I went through, maybe, let's just say there is some sort of addiction or like eating disorder in one person's life, and then the Mars person comes in and say, well, you shouldn't do this, or you shouldn't do that, or you are too this, or you too that, you're too, you're getting a little too big, or you're too skinny. The Mars person needs to learn to understand that these are trigger points for the Chiron person, and the Chiron person needs to communicate this. The Chiron person can't just say, well, shouldn't she or he know that this is my problem? No, you should not. You got to communicate. Again, and this is like where we become more aware of ourselves and our own triggers, and also become more aware of the other and what the other may need. And so this is a big awareness aspect where we become more aware and learn a great deal about ourselves and the other. So if you have any questions about this little beautiful aspect, leave your comment in the comment section. And if you want a personal reading, click on the link in the description box and book your reading there. Anything else, feel free to message me, and wish you a beautiful day, and I'll talk to you later.